In the year 2146, Earth had eyes everywhere. Giant telescopes floated in orbit, scanning the universe. Deep space antennas listened to the silence of stars. Every corner of the galaxy was under watch. Nothing could hide anymore, or so they believed. It began on a Monday. A junior technician named Kieran, working in the Orbital Research Station, ECH09, noticed something strange. He wasn't a scientist. His job was to check readings, clean data, and report problems. But that morning, one of the deep space telescopes showed a strange dip in light. A star bright and steady had suddenly gone dark for 3 seconds. Not dim, not blinking, just dark. Then it lit up again like nothing happened. Kieran thought it was a glitch. He marked the log and moved on. 3 hours later, the same thing happened to another star in the same region of space. Then another, and another dot. By evening, astronomers were on high alert. A dozen stars had gone dark one after the other, like something massive had passed in front of them, but nothing showed up in visual scans. No shape, no heat, no shadow. It was as if space itself had blinked. Dr. Lena Torres, head of astrophysics at ECH09, took control. She checked the movement pattern. The dips in starlight were not random. They were in a straight line. Something was moving and fast. She looked at the path. Her hands trembled. The invisible object was heading toward Earth. At first, no one believed her. A star that didn't glow. A thing in space with mass, but no heat, no radiation. It sounded like a ghost story. They called it the Phantom Path. But Lena didn't smile. She ran simulations all night. Her conclusion was clear. Whatever it was, it would reach the edge of the solar system in 3 months. The next step was to scan the area with every tool they had. Deep scan radars, neutrino detectors, gravitational sensors, but nothing picked up the object. It was perfectly invisible, except for one thing: its mass. It was big, bigger than Jupiter, and moving faster than anything natural. No comet, no asteroid, no black hole moved like that. People started to whisper. Was it a weapon, a ship, a message, or something worse? Lena ordered a small probe, Horizon 6, to be launched. It was a fast, unmanned craft designed to go near the object's predicted path. It carried cameras, sensors, and a communication beacon. It reached the target zone in 2 weeks. At first, everything looked fine. The probe sent images of empty space. Then it saw ... distortion. Stars in the distance looked bent, like light was curving around something. A clear sign of gravity. Strong gravity, but still nothing visible. The probe moved closer, then it stopped. Not mechanically, something held it. A soft magnetic pull unlike anything they had measured before. The last image it sent was strange. A dark spot, not black, just ... absence. Like a hole in space. Then the feed went dead. 14 minutes later, the probe's signal came back. Just for 2 seconds. One short message. It sees us. Then silence. The data confused everyone. Was it a message from the probe, or something else? Lena stared at the message for hours. She felt a chill. She had worked in space science for 32 years. She had studied dying stars, black holes, dark matter, but this was something different. She told the Global Council, "We are not looking at a star. We are not looking at nature. We are being watched." The media found out. Panic followed. People demanded answers. Some blamed aliens. Some said it was a government trick. Others believed the end was near. But the object kept coming. Soon, satellites around Jupiter noticed small changes. Moons moved out of orbit. Gravity maps twisted. Space itself was warping ahead of the ghost. Then Earth's magnetic field spiked. For a full minute, all compasses pointed west. Birds flew in circles. GPS failed. Tides rose suddenly, then dropped. The ghost star hadn't even entered the solar system yet, and it was already touching Earth. Military satellites were reprogrammed. Secret bases under the ocean and ice caps powered up. Old projects, ones never meant to be used, were reopened. One of them was the quantum Railgun, a weapon built in secret decades ago, powered by collapsing particles and quantum folding. It was banned because a test once broke the laws of physics. For 3 seconds now it was being prepared again. Meanwhile, Lena worked without rest. She created new models. She tracked the ghost star's speed. And she noticed something terrifying: that it had slowed down. Natural objects in space don't slow down on their own, unless they are controlled. Earth wasn't just being observed, it was being approached. More probes were sent. All vanished, except one. It didn't return any data, but a strange noise was received from its final beacon. A low hum, deep, cold, repeating. Lena enhanced the signal, slowed it down. It wasn't noise, that it was a code. Not human, not like any known alien language, but it repeated one pattern over and over. The pattern matched something from old Earth history, from ancient war. Targeting. The Ghost Star was scanning. Suddenly things moved fast. Earth's emergency protocol was activated. The United Earth Council declared a planetary defense alert. All scientific efforts were redirected. All nations united. They prepared to fire the quantum railgun. But before they could test it, one more thing happened. A boy named Omar, living in a desert town in Morocco, woke up in the middle of the night. He said he heard whispers. He walked outside and looked up. There, in the sky, a black spot covered part of the stars. It wasn't visible, it wasn't shaped, but it was there. And then it blinked. A single star disappeared from view, then returned. Omar ran inside. His parents didn't believe him, but Earth's scientists noticed the same thing. That night, 31 stars in different places blinked once. And one of the blinking stars was the sun. Just for half a second. But that was enough. The ghost star was near. Lena stared at the latest data. She didn't speak. She didn't eat. She typed something into her logbook. They are not hiding, they are watching. They are waiting for us to see them. Then she looked at the earth, the oceans, the clouds, the people still unaware of what was above. And she whispered, "This is not a star, it is a question, and we have to answer it." The sky didn't change, but everything on Earth had. After the ghost star blinked the sun for just a fraction of a second, panic quietly spread through the highest levels of power. People down on Earth still went to work, played games, laughed, with family, but far above them, in hidden command rooms and underground bases, fear had taken control. The United Earth Council met the next day. 12 men and women from different nations, scientists, generals, world leaders. They sat in a cold chamber deep beneath Geneva. The room had no windows, only silent screens. On one screen, a 3D map showed the path of the ghost star. It was slowing down again. Lena Torres stood before them. Her eyes were tired. She had not slept. Her voice was calm but sharp. "It is not a star. It is not natural. It is adjusting course. It is moving with purpose." The president of Pacifica crossed his arms. Could it be a ship? Lena shook her head. No signals, no signs of energy, no movement like an engine. If it is a ship, it's unlike anything we've imagined. A Russian general leaned forward. Then what is it? Lena looked at the data. It may be alive. Or worse, something left behind by something else. Silence filled the room. Then the defense minister of Eurasia spoke. "We must prepare. The quantum railgun." Some disagreed. The weapon had never been used. Its last test had damaged space-time itself. Firing it could destroy more than it saved. But the council voted. 10-2. The weapon would be reactivated. A message was sent to Base 1 to be hidden beneath Antarctica. The quantum core would be powered up. Earth's most dangerous machine would wake again. Back in orbit, satellites picked up another change. A thin wave of gravity had just passed through Mars. It was invisible, gentle, but its signature matched what came before the probe vanished. Mars' orbit shifted by a millimeter. Not much, but enough to scare scientists. Then something worse happened. A research base on Titan, Saturn's moon, sent a strange message. No words, only a high-pitched tone and a symbol, a spinning circle that slowly faded into a black dot. Then, silence. The base went dark. 3 ships were sent to investigate. Only one returned and its crew refused to speak. They were all awake, all alive, but they sat quietly, unmoving, eyes wide open, breathing slowly like they were listening to something only they could hear. Doctors said it was trauma. Lena disagreed. She believed they had seen something that broke their minds. The council held another emergency meeting. This time, there were no arguments. Earth must prepare for defense. Operation Silent Shield was launched. All deep space transmissions were cut off. Earth would go dark so the ghost star could not track signals. Space colonies were ordered to shut down broadcasts. Earth's orbital defense grid was powered up. Lasers, kinetic cannons, plasma walls, all pointed toward the black. But no one knew if it would help. At the same time, strange things began happening on Earth. Animals behaved strangely. Whales swam in circles, far from their normal paths. Birds flew east at midnight. In Africa, lions stopped hunting. In Asia, wolves howled at the sky every hour. Some people claimed to hear low voices in their dreams. Not language, just a sound. A presence. Lena began studying the signal again, the last one received from the probe. She ran it through new filters. Then she noticed something. Inside the tone there was a pulse, slow, heavy, like a heartbeat. It wasn't random. It matched the rhythm of a human heart. Exactly, then it stopped. That night, Lena walked outside. She looked at the stars, and for the first time, she saw something. A hole, not a black object, not a shape, just space, missing. It was there, in the corner of her vision. When she looked directly, it vanished. But when she looked away, it returned. Others started reporting the same thing. Around the world, those who looked up began seeing it. Not all, just some. Scientists found no image, no proof, but the reports kept coming. Some called it madness, others called it a warning. The quantum railgun was almost ready. Its power source, compressed quantum foam, was being stabilized. It could only fire once, maybe twice, and even then the effect was unknown. It might destroy the ghost, or it might break the laws of nature completely. But Earth had no other choice. They prepared to fire it toward the area where the ghost star would be in 7 days. Lena was not convinced. She stood in front of the railgun chamber and watched the spinning core. She spoke to the engineers. Don't just aim for destruction, aim for understanding. What if it wants us to fire? What if that's part of the test? One engineer replied, then let's hope we failed the test. Then the ghost star moved again. This time, it stopped completely. All gravity readings showed zero motion, a full stop, millions of kilometers from the edge of the solar system. And then Earth received a new signal. It didn't come through space. It appeared directly on Earth's own satellites, a code. It spread like a virus. All screens in all labs flashed the same thing. A countdown: 10 days, hours, minutes, and ticking. Panic erupted behind closed doors. The public didn't know yet, but leaders did. They had 10 days to respond, or something would happen. Lena stared at the numbers. She whispered, "It's giving us a choice." The council met again. Their final question was simple: fire now, or wait. Split vote. Earth would wait until the clock reached 5 days. Then they would fire. But deep inside, everyone knew this wasn't just a threat. It was communication, and Earth had no idea how to answer. Lena began preparing something else. A message, not a weapon. A signal created from human DNA, memory, and emotion. She hoped to send it into the heart of the ghost star before the railgun was fired. She didn't want to destroy it. She wanted to speak. But time was running out, and the ghost had already begun its final move. 5 days remained on the countdown. Earth had never been this quiet before. The skies were filled with satellites, stations, and floating sensors, but all of them had gone dark. No signals were sent beyond orbit. No messages were sent to colonies. Even deep space telescopes were powered down. It was called Operation Dead Silence. The idea was simple. If Earth made no noise, maybe the ghost star would stop watching. Maybe it would go away. But even in silence, the fear grew louder. In a locked facility below Antarctica, the quantum railgun stood ready. A massive barrel, nearly a mile long, built into the ice itself. Around it were machines humming with invisible energy. This was Earth's last shutter weapon that bent space, folded gravity, and launched matter faster than light. It had only been tested once, and it almost ripped the sky open, but now, they had no choice. Dr. Lena Torres walked down the steel hallway, her coat fluttering behind her. She entered the observation chamber. The control room was cold, lit only by blue lights, and the pulsing glow of the quantum core. On the screen, the countdown continued. For days, 22 hours. Lena turned to the technician. Status: charging steady. Core is 43% stabilized. Estimated full power in 30 hours. She nodded, then opened her small personal console. Her hands typed a message, one that was not a weapon. A message made of light, music, and DNA data. Human emotion encoded in quantum form. That it was a risk. Sending it would break the silence. But Lena believed Earth had to try. Meanwhile, strange things were happening across the planet. Time began to act. Strangely, in a small village in Iceland, security cameras recorded a man walking across a road and then walking back, in reverse. The same man, same steps, backward. In a space observatory near the Himalayas, a telescope lens melted for no reason. The glass folded like wax and froze into perfect crystal. In Cairo, 3 children pointed at the sky and cried. They weren't hurt, they just kept saying one word: Watcher. Doctors checked them, no illness, but their dreams were full of a dark shape that whispered without speaking. In space, the moon's orbit shifted again, just 1 meter, but no known force could explain it. Lena received a report from Mars colony. Though all transmissions had been blocked, a signal managed to pass through. It was not from Mars, it was from somewhere between Mars and Jupiter. A ghost, signal weak, broken, but repeating, double quotes, pulse, received, RAILGUN, must not, fire. Then, it ended. Earth's command debated for hours. Was it real? Was it bait? The Railgun team said they could not delay. They had to test the weapon once before firing at full power. A test shot was prepared, aimed at deep space far from Earth, where no life existed. The countdown reached for days. 3 hours, the railgun powered up in the final moments before the test fire. A warning light flashed. Lena saw it first. A gravity wave, small but sharp, had just passed through the Arctic Ocean. Water moved in slow motion for 7 seconds, then snapped back. No earthquakes, no storms, just space acting wrong. But the order was already given. The quantum railgun fired. For 0.8 seconds, space screamed. The sky above the base flickered. Time slowed. The stars shimmered in the daylight. Then a beam of light, thin and sharp, shot out of the pole and vanished into the sky. The test had ended, but something came back. 17 minutes after the shot, Earth's magnetosphere trembled. All compasses turned red. Birds fell from the sky. People across the globe reported a strange feeling, as if someone was standing right behind them. Then it was gone. Lena reviewed the test data. Her fingers shook. The railgun had not just bent space, it had ripped a seam. For exactly 2.1 seconds, a hole existed between here and somewhere else. She opened the raw data from the moment of impact. Inside, the signal was something unexpected. Reflection. The weapon had bounced off something. Not empty space, not a rock. A surface. Lena enhanced the data. On her screen appeared an outline barely visible, like dust on glass. A shape, long, curved, artificial. She whispered, "It's a wall." The ghost star wasn't just floating. It was surrounded by something, a shield, maybe, or a skin. Railgun had hit it, and only left a scratch. Meanwhile, colonies on Europa and Ganymede went completely dark. No explosion, no signal. They simply stopped existing on the grid. Earth's council feared the worst. Maybe retaliation, maybe warning. The countdown showed 3 days. Lena sat alone in her lab. She reviewed her encoded message again. It contained images of Earth, forests, cities. It contained a heartbeat. It contained a laugh, a tear. She walked to the railgun chamber and inserted her message into a secondary firing pod. If Earth fired its main shot, her message would ride alongside it. That was her hope. The ghost star had still not moved. But then, at 2:13 a.m. GMT, something impossible happened. All screens across Earth blinked. And for exactly 1 second, every device, phone, watch, satellite showed the same image. A planet. Not Earth. Not known. It was covered in towers, twisted, tall, like roots reaching up. Then the image faded. The ghost star was speaking. Earth was no longer guessing. Earth was no longer guessing. Lena stood before the railgun and gave a message to the council. We must not fire in fear. This isn't an enemy. Not yet. It's testing us, or teaching us, or remembering us. Some believed her, most didn't. The council gave the final order. Prepared to fire at full strength in 72 hours. Earth would strike first. Lena wept quietly. That night she had spent her life looking at the stars. Now, the stars were looking back, and they might not forgive. 2 days remained. The countdown ticked on every hidden screen across Earth. The ghost star was silent, unmoving, just beyond the solar system. But something had changed. People could feel it. Lena Torres didn't sleep. Her face was pale, her hands steady but cold. She kept watching the data, watching the sky, watching the thing they called a star but knew was something else. She sat in the command room under Antarctica, where the quantum railgun waited. Around her, engineers worked without speaking. No one smiled. Every hum of machinery felt louder than it should. Every clock tick felt like thunder. Then, at 4:15 a.m. UTC, the ghost star responded. It was quiet, but not invisible. A soft wave passed through Neptune. All satellites around the planet blinked. Then strange lights appeared in the upper atmosphere. Blue, then violet, then black. Black light. The idea made no sense, but that's what it looked like. A glow darker than the sky itself. On Earth, Lena was the first to notice. She shouted, "Gravitational pulse incoming." The sensors detected it too late. A second wave, stronger, hit Earth's outer satellites. Half of them shut down instantly. Some didn't explode, they just stopped. Like they were never there then. A sound echoed not in the air, but in the machines. A low, heavy tone, like metal under pressure. It came from nowhere. but every speaker, every piece of electronics hummed the same rhythm. Dum-dum-dum-dum. A heartbeat, the same one from the probe's final signal, but this time it was stronger. Every screen on the planet, every military console, scientific device, home terminal showed the same message in white text. You reached for us. We woke. The Railgun team panicked. Many thought they were under attack, but Lena knew better. This wasn't war, it was contact. Earth had knocked. The ghost had answered. At that same moment, an observatory on the dark side of the moon picked up a strange pattern in the sky. Not a star, a shape, for faint outlines appeared near the ghost star. At first, they looked like shadows. No light, no color, just emptiness. But when the data came in, it revealed something terrifying. They weren't shadows, they were mirrors. They reflected gravity, they echoed mass. They copied everything the ghost star did, and they were moving. Lena stared at the simulation. The ghost had split, or maybe it had sent ... projections. Either way, now there were 5, the ghost star and 4 echoes, all of them now moving, not fast but directly toward the solar system. The council went into immediate crisis mode. The order to fire the quantum railgun was moved up. Instead of 2 days, they would fire in 20 hours. Lena objected. This is not defense anymore. This is fear. We don't know what they want. A general answered coldly, and we're not going to wait to find out. Back in the railgun chamber, the weapon began its final charge. The core grew brighter. The gravity field warped slightly around it. Metal creaked. Some workers got sick-time sickness, a side effect of standing too close to the core. Outside Earth seemed the same, but sensitive sensors detected microshifts in the atmosphere. Air was changing. Gravity waves were passing through the planet like ripples through water. Some birds stopped flying. Dogs barked at empty corners. Children woke up from dreams, screaming the same words. It's watching, but no one knew what it was. Then came the map. It appeared in the main quantum AI system used by Earth's top science centers, not through the internet, not from space. The message appeared inside the system, a spinning 3D map of the solar system, with 5 dots marked Ghost Star and its echoes. Lines were drawn, trajectories, then the dots changed. They turned red dot and Earth turned black dot. No words, no sound, just a map, a prediction. Lena stared at it for an hour. She didn't speak. Then she wrote one sentence in her journal. They're not here to destroy. They're here to remember something. She didn't know why she believed that, but in her heart, she felt it. She took her encoded message, the one made of emotion, memory, light, and human thought, and attached it to the secondary chamber of the railgun. Hidden secret. The council didn't know. She didn't need permission. Earth's last weapon would carry Earth's first whisper. Then came the final sign. At 3:07 a.m., Earth's magnetic field collapsed for 12 seconds. The sky didn't change. The oceans didn't move, but deep inside the planet, things shifted. COMPASSES spun wildly. Machines lost orientation. The molten core of Earth pulsed once. And in those 12 seconds, a voice was heard, not by speakers, not by humans, but by the machines, the AI systems that ran defense hospitals. Ships, all of them froze, then wrote one word in their logs. Why? Nothing else, just a question. It was not human, it was not machine, it was something else. Speaking through both. The countdown now showed 00 days, 09 hours, 21 minutes. The ghosts were near. The quantum railgun reached full charge. Lena walked to the observation deck. Outside, above the clouds, she saw no stars. The sky was empty, as if space itself had hidden. She whispered to herself, we should have listened first. Inside the core, the charge held steady. The engineers gave a thumbs up. All systems go. The council gave the order. In less than 10 hours, the weapon would fire. Earth's last question would meet the ghost's silent answer. But what if they didn't want to destroy? What if they came not for war, but for memory? 8 hours remained. The quantum railgun was ready. The world was not deep under Antarctica. The weapon's final systems were checked again and again. The core held steady. The pulse magnets were cooled to near zero. Everything was perfect, too. Perfect. Outside, the world was not calm. Strange things had begun. In Tokyo, all clocks moved backward for 1 minute. No power surge, no hacking, just time folding for 60 seconds. In Mexico City, people in a hospital ward aged 3 years. In under 5 minutes, nurses swore the patients didn't move, but their hair turned white. Wrinkles deepened, teeth loosened. In Kenya, a drone recorded a man walking across a field. As he passed the trees, he froze. Not in fear, his body just stopped, like a paused video. He stood there, eyes open, frozen for 4 minutes. Then he blinked and continued walking, unaware anything had happened. All across Earth, small zones of time distortion were appearing. Some moved faster, some slower, some slower dots, some reversed. Scientists called them time fractures. The ghost star was no longer just near, it was affecting the very fabric of time. Lena Torres was in the control center when the next report came in. A station on Mars had reconnected briefly. The message was short. We are seeing ourselves, 10 seconds in the future, then gone. The signal broke again. Lena's skin felt cold. She knew what that meant. Time was folding between layers. Earth's history, future, and present were blending at the edges. She ran into the data chamber, checked the railgun's field. The gravity lens around it was now distorting slightly. 2 engineers were missing. Their badges were still inside the chamber, but no one saw them leave. One had left a strange note on his desk before vanishing. Don't fire. It will hear everything. The council, unaware of the missing men, pushed forward. They feared delay. The ghost fleet was still moving, quiet, perfect. Still 5 of them. Still no weapons seen, but still closer. 3 hours to go. Lena uploaded her quantum message again, double-checking the data. She had added something new. She added the heartbeat of Earth, not a sound, a real pattern from the pulse of the planet's magnetic field, converted into light, then into vibration, a rhythm, a message that might feel alive. She didn't know if the ghosts would understand, but she had to try. Suddenly, the railgun's core flared. A pulse of heat swept through the base. Lights flickered, not just from power but from time skipping. Lena turned. A technician beside her dropped his tool. Then his body shook. He gasped and fell to the floor. When the medics arrived, they checked him dead. Except ... He wasn't. He was breathing. His eyes were moving, but he was locked in time. Perfect freeze. His pulse beat once every 20 seconds. The room went silent. Everyone knew this was not war. This was reality breaking. They wanted to stop, but the council insisted. Fire. Complete the mission. Show strength. 1 hour left. Back in Geneva. A scientist discovered something terrible. The ghost fleet was not approaching Earth. It was orbiting nothing. Each of the 5 shadows had moved into position, circling empty space. But their rotation was too perfect. It was as if they were orbiting something that wasn't visible, something Earth couldn't detect. The scientist called Lena directly. It's not just them. There's something else there, in the center, and it hasn't moved. What is it? Lena asked. The scientist didn't answer at first. Then he said, a star, or a tomb. 30 minutes remained. Lena stood near the railgun. The firing team activated all systems. The barrel turned toward space, toward the ghost. Suddenly, alarms screamed. The Earth shifted, not the ground, the clock. The entire world's time skipped forward. 3 seconds. People blinked and missed it, but machines noticed. 3 seconds lost no record, no memory. But the countdown didn't change. Still 24 minutes. Then came the message. Not from outside, not from space, from within. A pulse from the railgun's own sensors, buried deep in the weapon's mind. Text appeared on every screen. We're not the first. You will not be the last. Then a flash dot above Earth. In the upper atmosphere, clouds parted. The sky went white, then black, then clear. And in that moment, everyone saw something impossible. A planet, not ours, just for a second. Hanging in the sky, large alien covered in towers, like teeth, and gone. It had been pulled into the fold between time and space, or maybe Earth had crossed into its memory. 10 minutes. Lena stood still. The council asked for status. She said, nothing. She turned to the engineer and whispered, run the message. He nodded quietly, activated the second chamber. Now, the railgun would carry 2 things. 1, a blast of impossible force. 2, a message of light, thought, memory. 5 minutes. Lena closed her eyes and heard it. The heartbeat not in her ears. In the railgun. In the walls. In the sky. Dumb. Time fractured again. Outside, people across Earth saw themselves. Just for a moment. In windows. In mirrors, reflections of themselves a few seconds ahead. Then everything snapped. Back. 1 minute. The ghosts moved. Not quickly, just enough. The 5 shadows began rotating around. The empty space between them. Forming a perfect circle. Lena looked at the data and knew they were not approaching. They were opening something. A gate. 10 seconds. The railgun glowed with pale light. The room shook. Space bent. Time rippled. 3. 2. 1. Weapon fired. The world was quiet, not with fear but with understanding. For the first time since the ghost star had arrived, Earth was no longer alone. The dreams had spread. More than 2 billion people had now seen the same vision, the moon, floating inside a sea of light, safe, a whisper of something ancient, a memory not from today but from long, long ago. In labs and bunkers, in forests and cities, people began to feel the same thought. We were part of something greater. Lena Torres stood before the quantum railgun. It was silent now, cold. It had done its part. It had spoken through force. Now, Earth had to speak through memory. The beam from the tower above had already healed the weapon. And more than that, it had stabilized Earth's orbit. Gravity slowly returned to balance. The seas calmed. The satellites floated steady again. But the moon had not returned. Instead, the ghosts began forming a pattern in space. The 5 shadows circled the tower one last time, then spread apart, forming a shape 5 points. One center, a key. Lena and her team studied the signal flowing from the tower. Inside it, they found a hidden layer, a voice. It was not speech. It was not alien. It was Earth's own signal, one that had been sent long ago and forgotten that it had been sent. 300,000 years ago, not by modern humans, by someone before. Signal buried deep in Earth's crust, coded into magnetite rocks, hidden in the cores. Rhythm. The ghosts had come back, not for humans but for that signal. It had once called them here. Now, Earth had spoken a Gundan. They had answered. Lena decoded the final layer. It was a question. Are you still there? Her hands shook. She replied using Earth's rebuilt quantum beacon, carefully powered by the tower's clean energy. Her message was short. We are now. The tower pulsed once, then twice, then its surface changed. The side opened slowly, not like a door, like a blooming flower. Inside, a structure could be seen, a chamber of light, a memory vault. It held images, not just of Earth, but of hundreds of worlds, some living, some gone. Each one had sent a signal once, each one had waited, and now Earth had joined them. Then the moon returned. No sound, no shockwave. It reappeared exactly where it had been. Perfect orbit, but it was different. Sensors detected thousands of small dots beneath its surface. Machines, dormant, ancient. The moon had been more than a satellite. It had been a ship, a container of memory, a recorder. An Earth had never known. Now it was awake again. The council called Lena to speak. She stood before all of Earth's leaders, broadcast quietly across the globe. Her voice was clear. We are not being invaded. We are being reminded. We fired first, but they did not punish us. They gave us time to listen. She paused. We almost lost the moon. We almost lost ourselves. But now we have a choice. Silence followed. Then one word appeared on every global display. From the tower, from the ghosts. Welcome. It was the last message. The tower closed. The 5 shapes folded inward. Then all 6 vanished. No explosion, no flash. They simply left. But the changes remained. The railgun still pulsed with quiet energy. The moon still hummed faintly. And the old signal, Earth's forgotten cry, was now active again. Humanity didn't go back to normal. Not completely. They began to build not bigger weapons, but better receivers. Not satellites for defense, but beacons too. Listen. To remember. To prepare. Because somewhere in the stars, other ghost stars might be waiting. And this time, Earth would answer with something more powerful than any weapon. Understanding. The world was quiet, not with fear but with understanding. For the first time since the ghost star had arrived, Earth was no longer alone. The dreams had spread. More than 2 billion people had now seen the same vision, the moon, floating inside a sea of light, safe, a whisper of something ancient, a memory not from today but from long, long ago. In labs and bunkers, in forests and cities, people began to feel the same thought. We were part of something greater. Lena Torres stood before the quantum railgun. It was silent now, cold. It had done its part. It had spoken through force. Now, Earth had to speak through memory. The beam from the tower above had already healed the weapon. And more than that, it had stabilized Earth's orbit. Gravity slowly returned to balance. The seas calmed. The satellites floated steady again. But the moon had not returned. Instead, the ghosts began forming a pattern in space. The 5 shadows circled the tower one last time, then spread apart, forming a shape 5 points. One center, a key. Lena and her team studied the signal flowing from the tower. Inside it, they found a hidden layer, a voice. It was not speech. It was not alien. It was Earth's own signal, one that had been sent long ago and forgotten that it had been sent. 300,000 years ago, not by modern humans, by someone before. Signal buried deep in Earth's crust, coded into magnetite rocks, hidden in the cores. Rhythm. The ghosts had come back, not for humans, but for that signal. It had once called them here. Now, Earth had spoken a Gundan. They had answered. Lena decoded the final layer. It was a question. Are you still there? Her hands shook. She replied using Earth's rebuilt quantum beacon, carefully powered by the tower's clean energy. Her message was short. We are now. The tower pulsed once, then twice. Then its surface changed. The side opened slowly, not like a door, like a blooming flower. Inside, a structure could be seen, a chamber of light, a memory vault. It held images, not just of Earth, but of hundreds of worlds, some living, some gone. Each one had sent a signal once, each one had waited, and now Earth had joined them. Then the moon returned. No sound, no shockwave. It reappeared exactly where it had been. Perfect orbit, but it was different. Sensors detected thousands of small dots beneath its surface. Machines, dormant, ancient. The moon had been more than a satellite. It had been a ship, a container of memory, a recorder. An Earth had never known. Now it was awake again. The council called Lena to speak. She stood before all of Earth's leaders, broadcast quietly across the globe. Her voice was clear. We are not being invaded. We are being reminded. We fired first, but they did not punish us. They gave us time to listen. She paused. We almost lost the moon. We almost lost ourselves. But now we have a choice. Silence followed. Then one word appeared on every global display. From the tower, from the ghosts. Welcome. It was the last message. The tower closed. The 5 shapes folded inward. Then all 6 vanished. No explosion, no flash. They simply left. But the changes remained. The railgun still pulsed with quiet energy. The moon still hummed faintly. And the old signal, Earth's forgotten cry, was now active again. Humanity didn't go back to normal. Not completely. They began to build not bigger weapons, but better receivers. Not satellites for defense, but beacons too. Listen. To remember. To prepare. Because somewhere in the stars, other ghost stars might be waiting. And this time, Earth would answer with something more powerful than any weapon. Understanding.